Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into a really fascinating spiritual hypnosis session. It uses this powerful metaphor of alchemy, the ancient art of transformation, to lay out a roadmap for profound personal change. Right from the start, the session grounds us in a truth that, let's be honest, we all recognize deep down. Life isn't some fixed destination we arrive at. It's a constant process of becoming. Every single one of us right now is on a path of learning and evolving. So, to really get our heads around this, we're going to break this journey down into 4 key stages. We'll start with the call for connection, then move into the heavy lifting in the alchemist's inner forge. After that, we'll look at a critical choice between 2 paths to transformation and see what happens when finally the walls come down. Okay, let's dive right in. So, where does a journey like this even begin? Well, the session suggests something a little counterintuitive. It doesn't start with frantic action or desperate searching. No, it starts with a particular state of being. I want you to picture this. Imagine that guidance, or maybe a person you're meant to connect with, is like a ship out on the ocean. It's not just drifting aimlessly. It's being guided by an unseen force, like a sort of spiritual current. That ship, which is carrying all the potential for a really meaningful encounter, is already on its way to you. It's already heading toward your shore. This isn't random chance. It's part of a natural flow. And here is the absolute game changer. You don't need to force it. You don't have to swim out into the choppy water and try to drag that ship back to land. Your only job is to be on the shore, ready and available to welcome it when it arrives. It's this incredible shift from constantly striving to simply, powerfully receiving. Okay, so once that connection is made, once the ship has docked, well, that's when the real work can begin. And to describe this process of inner transformation, the session brings up this incredibly powerful and ancient metaphor, the alchemist's forge. Now, think about our own inner challenges for a second. The judgments, the disappointments, the resentments we carry around. We all have them. The source describes all that stuff as raw, coarse, rusting metal. And if we just let it sit there inside of us, it rusts and it pollutes everything. But if we have the courage to bring it into the forge, it can be totally transformed. This brings us to a really crucial question, doesn't it? How do we actually reshape this raw material of our lives? Well, the session proposes 2 radically different ways to do this. And the path we choose, well, it changes everything. This choice puts us at a fork in the road. And these 2 paths have dramatically different consequences for us. It's basically the difference between approaching our own growth like a blacksmith or like an alchemist. On one side, you've got the hammer. This is forcing change. It's brute force, external discipline, trying to beat something into shape, often striking the metal when it isn't even hot enough to be changed. This just creates a brittle, fragile form. And worse, the source says it engrams suffering. It literally embeds the memory of that struggle, that pain, deep into our very being. But then, there's the other path, the crucible. This isn't about force, it's about heat, an intense inner heat of love, of awareness, of acceptance. This process doesn't just reshape the metal, it purifies it. It burns away the impurities, the scories, the dross, and it reveals the luminous, noble, true nature that was hidden underneath all along. I mean, just listen to that. This alchemical path isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about seeing beyond the rust and the rough edges. It's an act of faith, really. It's having the vision to go looking for the most beautiful, the most noble part that was always there, just waiting to be seen. So, what's the ultimate result of choosing the crucible over the hammer? What happens when you choose alchemy instead of force? The session wraps this all up with one more powerful metaphor, this time from a story many of us know. The story of the trumpets of Jericho is used here to show us how our barriers, both the internal ones like our limiting beliefs and fears, and the external ones we put up between each other, how they can all be dissolved. But crucially, not with a battering ram, not with more force. And what's so powerful here is the emphasis on process and faith. For days, they're just marching. That's it. Nothing is happening. Can you imagine how senseless that must have felt? It's about trusting the process even when it looks like it isn't working. It's about sticking with it. And then, at just the right moment, it's about sounding your own authentic note, your true vibration. And those old rigid structures, They simply cannot withstand it. And this, right here, is maybe the most profound takeaway of all. The goal isn't conquest. It's not about winning. It's about connection. When those walls fall, they fall for everybody. The person you thought was your enemy is suddenly revealed to be just another person. Doubt is replaced by this shared joy, and as the Source puts it so beautifully, it's a moment of mutual liberation, where we finally get to recognize our shared, restored humanity in one another. So this entire journey, from making yourself available for connection, to transforming your burdens in the crucible of your own heart, to finally dissolving those walls of separation, it's not just a nice story, it's a map. And it's a map that leaves us with a pretty powerful question to reflect on. What walls in your life are just waiting for you to find your note so they can finally crumble? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.
I'm not running for the shore, chasing dreams I can't restore. I sit still where the tide rolls in and wait for what begins. A boat drifts on the open sea, not by chance, not aimlessly, guided by a hidden tide. It's coming for my side. No need to swim, no need to fight, no need to force it into light. My only task, my only role, to be ready to receive the soul. It starts not in the storm or flame, but in silence, in the name of presence, where the heart says I am here, I won't look away. When the boat arrives at last, the real work begins steadfast, for deep within a forge burns bright, the alchemist's sacred rite. All the judgments, wounds, regrets, the anger, shame I can't forget, they glow like red hot, heavy ore, rust and poison at the core. But I don't crush them with a blow, don't hammer what I don't yet know. Instead I bring them to the flame, love awareness calling each by name. Not to break, but to refine, not to fight, but to align. This is not repair, it's revelation, a slow return to my true foundation. I turn to let you go, not with force, but with soul. Every wound, every fear turns to ash in the clear. I am the alchemist of my heart, purifying, letting fall apart. What I thought was lost and dead was just waiting beneath the red. I am the alchemist of my heart, purifying, letting fall apart. What I thought was lost and dead was just waiting beneath the red. Then come the walls, high and cold, old and bold. Fear built, belief forged, barriers I thought I couldn't cross. I don't attack, I don't storm the gate, I don't rage at the weight of fate. I'll walk one day, then another, holding faith through wind and thunder. 7 days, 10 nothing breaks. Doubt whispers, this is fake, but I keep walking, soft and slow, because the process is the glow. And then I hear it, my true voice rising clear, not a war cry, not a plea, just a note that's always been me. So I sound it, gentle at first, then full, like a sacred burst. And the walls begin to shake, not from force, but from the sake of truth, pure, unafraid. And they fall not just for me, but made for you, for us, for every heart that's played a lonely, broken part. It's not victory, not defeat, it's connection, deep and sweet. The one I call my enemy stands before me, finally free, tears like rain, but joy takes hold. Two souls seeing, brave and bold. We were never far apart, we were one from the start. So I walk on, lighter now, knowing this. I don't know how the journey ends or where it leads, only that it grows from seeds of stillness. luminous fire and sound. If a wall appears around, I won't fight, I won't hide. I'll walk and wait, and then I'll ride. Because every bolt returns, every fire reburns, and every wall that stands so tall falls to one true call. Find your note and let the walls